Hello everyone, welcome to my first video not drawing in a while. Now, um, I am getting, since I'm getting everything organized and prepped for publication of my book to come out on the 6th, not the 3rd, like I kept saying in my last video talking about this. So, yeah, I have read through the entire book now and fixed what I needed to fix and read over it again. And so now I'm formatting it. Now, here is the thing. Um the thing about indie publishing is you have to do everything yourself. You have to format your book yourself. You have to do all of this stuff. I'm completely fine with that. However, this is a rant about Amazon's Kindle Create, which is not intuitive. And if you want to do anything like creative with your book, then like you really can't do it. So this is my issue. I want to put a map into my book, so I'm trying to format it with the map. In Word, it doesn't really work because I need it to span across 2 pages. So in Word, it's kind of just, I have to manipulate it a bit, but like I can get it to that point. But I can't make my pictures, which are my title pages, for my chapters. I can't like make those into their own heading, so I can't have a table of contents with that. So, but I was like, maybe in Kindle Create I can do it. No. Kindle Create is about as useful as Word. Except Word is actually more useful than Kindle Create. Kindle Create does not help anything at all. I don't know why this is even a thing. I don't know why. Just like, why? Answer me that question. Why? I wish it was better. Because, like, so for anyone who publishes books and they don't have, like, pictures and stuff and to put into their book, like, Kindle Create is fine. But, like, if you want to include a pretty large map that has to span 2 pages, you can't do it with this. You just can't, and it sucks. And so I just wish I could I could I could do it with Kindle Create or Word. I can't. So I decided to activate my 7-day trial with InDesign because I know I can do everything I want to do in InDesign, like, in the time that I need it to be done. And so I can just do all of that there. So that's what I'm doing. I spent yesterday 6 hours uh trying to format the book, get all of the fonts right. Um, there are some things that I still need to look in, uh, because there's italics. When you transfer text over to InDesign, it doesn't copy the fonts and everything I had in Word, so I have to redo that. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. We'll figure it out. I will figure it out. But yeah, so I am formatting. This is actually going to be a lot better formatting than what my first book was, because that one I exclusively just use Word, and sometimes the spacings from the title, I don't have the book with me, from the title and like where where the words of the chapter begin is not the same. Now it is the same. So I'm using skills that I have had, but I just didn't do for my first book. But I'm using them now. So kind of redeeming. I don't know. Um so there's that. I honestly I just want Amazon to have this Kindle Create and have it in such a way that you can do these things. Like, I get it. It's technically for only the ebook, but still, you should be able to format it better. It should be easier to format, anyways. And if you have a picture that could, that would look better flipped, give that an option. Cause like I was like, maybe I can just like turn the image to the side and it'll just be like that. No, wouldn't let me. I was like, alright, cool. So I am going through InDesign and formatting it the professional way. The way I was taught in college. Um but yeah, so I'm going to so we will not be delaying the publication again. I'm actually off tomorrow. So I'm going to edit this video and then I'm going to work on that. That's basically my rant over. But while I have you here, I'm going to talk about my experience um, reading what I wrote in my second book after basically finishing the third. The third's not like fully done. It's like it's on its like second last to last chapter. So I'm just saying it's done because I know what it's literally the ending of the third book. There's a fourth. There is a fourth. I'm sorry. But so the experience of reading the second book. Now, the first book was obviously all about Ash. I had Ash take the seat in this book, in the second book, so that all of the side characters can have, well, the side characters that are really a part of the main cast. Okay, Ash is the most main character, but I really have an ensemble, so I need to let the others of the ensemble shine. And so that's what this book was about. This book was to get to know some of these characters and introduce some others. So we got to know two characters that were briefly mentioned in the first book. We got to know a character that shows up at the end of the first book. We got to know Aaron and Celine a bit more, and we get five new characters. One of them, I hate to say, I do kill off um, pretty soon after they're introduced. So really it's four new characters, and um, let's just say I really do love what some of these. I do love where they start versus where they end because it shows growth. Now, and that's to say that two very specific characters are so rude in the first interaction you see of them, and it's so great because it shows. I wanted to show like the prejudice that people have against royals, even though they are still like people. They just have these extra abilities that they were born with. They can't control it. But I wanted to showcase what the rebels have as a prejudice. So I did that. And I literally I read it and I was like, damn, you're so ruthless. Because they were very ruthless. I'm saying all of this before the book even comes out, but still, it's so, some of these characters are so ruthless to the royals, and it's so great. But yeah, so reading back on some of those was really, really nice, really good. Granted, I am going to put a disclaimer right here about this book. Um, this this book was mostly for character development. It was not really to progress the story in any way except for to get to the end that I got to, because I needed that end in order for the third book to happen. Now, the third book the way it's happening was always gonna happen. The second book, I had no idea what the fuck to do. The second book, I didn't know what I was doing with it. I didn't know how to continue the story. I knew where I needed my characters to be by the end of the second book. I didn't know how to get there. So, if you think that some things are a cheap cop out, I'm going to tell you right now, those things are. They are cheap cop outs. Now, there's also another thing that you might think is a cheap cop out in the third book, but we're not going to talk about that. There's a reason for it. Believe me. I also actually wasn't planning on doing it, and then I was just like, yeah, well, why not? It's spur of the moment thing. So some things, sometimes you got to do the predictable thing. Sometimes you got to do the cop out thing. Sometimes you just have to do things that way. Don't come to me crying about it. Why am I like this? Anyways, so yeah, I'm really excited for this book to come out. It is coming out January 6th. I will release a video on that day about the release, and basically urging you guys all to just like go buy it. And if you haven't read my first book, go read that. And also another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fix the first book. I'm going to update the book a little, because I can still update it now. I just need to update some tiny, tiny, tiny mistake that happened in the first book, in I believe chapter 4, when all of the royals are being introduced, and I accidentally mixed up kingdoms on one, and it's been bothering me since I found that error. So I'm gonna fix it, and then it gets published, and then since from the time that fix is active, the book will be published with that. So uh that fix is gonna happen. I promise. I'm just an idiot, and I don't know how this got past me and my editor and everything about that. I honestly don't know how it got past us. It just did. And you know what? Can't do anything about it. I just have to fix it. Even though the book's been out for a year now. Oopsies. I will actually be putting in that updated version before this video comes out, because I need it. I need it to be updated. And you can go buy that book and read it, and then be prepared for the second book, the sequel. And honestly, the sequel is in some ways better than the first book. So yeah, the book's coming out on January 6th, and I there will be a little bit of a tease of maybe when the third book's coming out at the end of that book. So, look forward to that. Um I'm going to actually release certain things from the third book, little snippets here and there, as it gets closer to that one's like finished product. Um, and then I will work on the fourth book, which might be a bit of a mess, but you know what? We're gonna figure it out. I gotta figure out all the storylines and tie them up. That's gonna be the problem, is tying up all the storylines in this fourth book. I don't want to make a fifth for this, because I need to tie up the Ash versus Caleb storyline. I need to tie up Ash versus Jadzia's storyline. I need to tie up like all of these other storylines that kind of mesh in with both of those. And so I kind of I was stupid in making this series in that I have antagonists. Two antagonists. One is a more frontal antagonist, and the other one's doing things behind the scenes. And you don't see that until the fourth book, which is why at the end of the third book, there's gonna be a little tease as to what's gonna happen in the fourth. Um, but yeah. So, anyways, I will see you all. But yeah. So that's it for this video. Let's stop talking. So that I can actually get things done. So yeah, I'm gonna release this video real soon, and I'll have another drawing video out actually this week as well. And then because I'm thinking that for my first, okay, so I'm gonna start to go to 2 videos a week. I think it's it's not guaranteed for every week to have 2 videos a week, but some weeks we'll have 2 videos a week. One of them will be a drawing video, and one of them will be my usual content. My voice, as you can tell, is doing so much better. Got a medication change. Not fully changed. Like, I'm still on that medication that's messing with me, but I'm not on it as much because I'm using it only as a rescue and not as a control. So I'm not using it as both anymore. And I'm using one that's not going to irritate my vocal cords as much or at all. So yeah, that's why everything's the way it is. So yeah, I'm gonna be back to that. I am gonna be honest, I have not read a single book in this time. I've been so focused on getting my book published and getting out these drawing videos that I have not been reading. But it's fine. I will get to reading soon. Maybe I'll read tomorrow a little. No. I've got too much work to do. Soon, eventually, I will do some reading. Soon. I know that's mostly why some of you subscribed. Wasn't to see art, and it wasn't to really hear me talk about my books. You know what? It's fine. I can't help the fact that I could not talk for a long time there. But yeah, so that's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you all enjoyed. Check the description for all of the links that I have, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye!